The story begins with a girl named Danbi, who looks extremely distressed. She keeps thinking that she just wants to disappear from there somehow. Suddenly, her eyes fall on a large pit filled with rainwater. Curious, she goes closer and looks inside, only to see people wearing strange old-fashioned clothes. They are praying for rain while looking up at the sky. They say their kingdom hasn't had rain for 3 years, and people are dying because of the drought. Without thinking, Danbi suddenly jumps into the water, and in the next moment, she finds herself in a completely different world, standing in the very place where those people were praying for rain. Shocked, she asks jokingly if they are shooting some kind of king and queen drama. But the king there finds her behavior strange and nervously asks if she is a witch. Danbi, scared, quickly denies it and says she is just a normal 12th grade student. Because of her strange speech and modern way of talking, the people assume she is using some kind of magic, and they get even more frightened. Soon, soldiers surround her with swords. Realizing the swords are real, Danbi quickly starts acting smart because she is very good at lying her way out of trouble. She claims she knows why she is here, to bring rain back to their land. Hearing this, everyone bows down to her. She tells them to repeat a strange spell 50 times. As soon as they obediently repeat it, when they look up again, Danbi has disappeared. She runs and ends up in a place filled with religious robes hanging everywhere. She quickly changes her clothes and quietly sits among the crowd. At that moment, the king is addressing people, saying they must stop believing in superstitions and focus on science and mathematics to improve the kingdom's future. However, a priest opposes him, claiming the drought is God's punishment and a special ritual must be performed to fix it. While all this is happening, Danbi falls asleep sitting there. Later, she realizes her phone is missing and goes outside to look for it. Suddenly, the king's soldiers catch her and bring her to the palace. Danbi panics, thinking maybe if rain comes, she can return home. But then she remembers it hasn't rained in 3 years here. The king angrily declares that she is trying to deceive them and should be punished. Hearing this, Danbi begs for her life, saying she is just a student who accidentally came from the future. As she faces death, her whole life flashes before her eyes. She remembers how weak she was in school, especially in math. Teachers humiliated her in class. Her mother constantly scolded her at home, and even her friends had no expectations from her. On exam day, she was extremely nervous, running through heavy rain toward the exam center. But overwhelmed by panic, she ran away without even taking the exam. She later returns to the same pit and thinks it might be her way back. To prove herself to the king, she tries to mention future events, but no one believes her. Then she lies again, claiming she is excellent at math. The king gives her a problem to solve, and she solves it instantly, shocking everyone. The king then offers her a deal. If she teaches math to their people, he will send her back home. Danbi agrees. She is even told to live as a boy so no one suspects anything. Slowly, she starts teaching the king basic mathematics. After a few days, a major test is coming for the king, so Danbi studies with him constantly, despite being scared. One day, in frustration, she even lightly hits the king, which enrages the guards, but the king stops them. Over time, the king and Danbi grow closer. The king introduces her to new food, and Danbi shows him instant noodles, which he loves. She also explains the human body and heartbeat, impressing him deeply. The king eventually assigns her to teach children across the kingdom. They grow even closer, but Danbi always says she will return after the first rain. Then suddenly, a conspiracy targets her, and she is captured. But the king rescues her and sends her to the forest for safety. Finally, the rain starts falling, and Danbi realizes she can now return. However, this time she hesitates because her heart has become attached to the kingdom and the king. She jumps into a lake and returns to her own time. Only a few seconds have passed in reality. She still makes it to her exam and successfully writes it this time. Months later, when she leaves school, it starts raining again. A boy appears beside her holding an umbrella, looking exactly like the king. They both smile at each other, and the story comes to an end.